Welcome back to Quick Car Tips. This week we are going to talk about how to change a car battery. Each model has its specifics, but most of 12-volt batteries require the same basic knowledge. You'll see that with a few tools and a little skill, you'll save a decent amount of money on your car's maintenance. Also, at the end of this video, we'll discuss a question which usually comes up when performing this task: how to do it without losing the car's memory settings. In any case, as usual on our channel, let's get down to business. Locate the battery. In almost all cars, it's located in the engine compartment, although some have it in elsewhere, such as the trunk. In our case, it's in the most common place, the upper right-hand corner of the engine compartment. But before touching anything, we recommend you put on some insulating gloves. The next step is to remove the leads that may be in your way. In our case, the negative terminal is exposed. Perfect, because that's where you should always start. If you start with the positive, it's much easier to cause a short circuit, so we leave the lead on until we are going to disconnect it. Choose the right size socket. In our case, it's a 10mm. Loosen the screw or nut that holds the cable, without completely removing it, just enough to loosen it. Remove the cable so that it can't move around and touch the battery terminal again. Our example car has a secondary cable, so we remove that as well and done. Once this is done, do the same with the positive terminal. In this specific case, it has several connections restricting its movement, although it's not a problem because it comes out easily and can be placed out of the way. Now it's time for the battery clamps. There are many types, but most are easily to remove. In this case, it's a top cover with 3 screws. 2 of them are the same size of the terminal nuts, but this other one it's an 8mm. With a car toolbox, you'll never be missing anything. In the video description, you'll find an article in which we talk about the best ones, depending on how far you want to get into the maintenance of your car. We remove the lid and leave everything in order so as not to lose anything. One tip you can use if your model has many parts is to leave it positioned in the same orientation it was mounted in and leave the screws in their holes. In this case, there are only 3, but it can be useful if your car is more complex. It also has a clamp underneath to prevent forward shifting. We remove it and the battery is ready to be taken out. Another example of the clamps used by other brands are the hold-downs attached to the base. It's a very common method, and to remove them you need a ratchet with an extension bar, because it's in a very narrow place. Returning to our car, once everything is removed, carefully lift the battery out. You'll find it's quite heavy, but most of them have handles to facilitate the task. Now it's time to put the new battery in its place. The process is the same, but in reverse. That is, put the clamps back in place. Fix the positive cable to its terminal. If it has a lid, put it on and close it for safety. If not, be careful not to touch it in the following steps. And finally, put the negative cable on the corresponding terminal. In our case, we also have to plug in the secondary cable. If it has a lid, put it on and you're done. You will have changed the battery in the usual manner. We check that the car starts and that everything is in order. Some warning lights may come on. This doesn't happen in this car. But as you can see in this other one, some, such as the stability control and tire pressure, remain on until they disappear after driving a few feet. Now we are going to talk about the question we mentioned at the beginning: how to avoid erasing the settings recorded in the car's memory. For that, there are gadgets like memory savers. Their function is to supply power while we change the battery. This one works with another car or with another 12-volt battery as a power source. That reaches our car through a conventional 12-volt outlet. However, there are also those that connect to other sockets, such as the OBD type. They are usually very affordable. This one, for example, costs around $15, although it's better that you ensure compatibility with your car before choosing one. That's all. If you found this video useful, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. That will help us to keep making content like this. Take care and see you next time.